The hell you guys doing in my bedroom? I know. I try to be funny, but I'm not really. Anyway, it's a work day today. I have off from my regular job. Every other Friday I get off from work, which is kind of cool. So I'm going to go over to the car and work on something that has been bugging me since I've owned the car. You know, these old cars, they leak a lot. And I'd already gone through and fixed what I thought was a leak from the differential. But that didn't work at all. And it's something I don't want to keep prolonging and prolonging. So we got a little bit of a tough job today. I'm a little anxious about doing it. But hey, I got my my work shirt on. I got my jeans with the leg cut out. Hey man, I'm ready to go. Come on with me. Yeah, before we get to work today, I gotta walk the dog. There's Wilson in his little Space Buddies jacket.
Hi, it's me, Wilson. Listen, if you don't mind, can you subscribe to this guy's channel?
Deal. This is from Slippery Pete, or Slippery Pete. And this does is you can actually put this on top and use the straws, and you can pump the oil into the rear end, which makes it a lot cleaner job. I wish I had this the first time because I wasted so much of this oil spilling it all over the place. All right, let me get set up. Alright, this works a treat. Much easier than trying to do with funnels. So actually a few months after I thought that I fixed that issue with the leaking rear end, this is what happened. Oh jeez. Okay, is this me too? Or maybe it's this guy. Okay, finally here, back at the car. Explain what I'm going to be doing today. You saw my attempt at humor, but this is actually an issue that's really been bugging me because I did have a leak from the rear, the differential. This is a 7¼ inch rear. I replaced the gasket, filled up the level, and found that I came back a few hours later, a big ring of gear oil laying on the shop floor. Someone told me that, it's maybe hard to see up here, that the axles have a valve up here, and I know this might be a little hard to see. Maybe I can you see it here? Where is it? Right there. Right behind this brake line is a little valve, and that's meant to let the sort of let the air out. So when you're running this, it's like a breather, I guess. I don't know the lack of a better term. Maybe somebody else can put in the comments. But it allows the axle to breathe and let out air, like an air bleeding system. So, but somebody told me that if that is tight, that could cause leaks. But then I realized that I think what's happening, and after doing some reading, that I'm seeing a lot of the oil around here. And I think what's happening is that the seal here in the front of the rear is what's going bad. So it gets to a certain level, and then you know, there's enough oil in there, but once it gets past that, it just sort of just leaks out and leaks down onto the ground. So that's called a pinion seal. Okay, so I do have the car up on blocks, and boy, right before I started this project, my hydraulic floor jack went out, and I just haven't really. I mean, I have the money to buy it, but I've been using money from the parts. You know, using my money for parts for the car, because it's a lot of money getting parts for these types of cars, as many of you know. So this took me about a half an hour to, well, maybe not, maybe about 20 minutes to finally jack up to a spot where I could comfortably get underneath the car and work on this pinion seal. But let me talk about safety a little bit. I do have jack stands in the front here, right there and there. I also have blocks of wood under the tires on both sides, and then also I had the wheels chalked in the front so that they can't move forward. But I don't want to risk my life, and you shouldn't risk your life either. I have like multiple backup systems here. Like if these jacks fail, at least I have that much room underneath the car. When I jack up a car, I even leave the jacks. I take a little bit of pressure off them, but I just kind of leave them in place as another security measure, you know, that I have redundancy, if you will. So you should do something similar to that. But boy, I wish I had a floor jack, because this would have taken a lot less time to finally jack up. But also another thing to do is, you know, shake a car from side to side. Make sure it's sturdy before you get underneath it. Let me show you how high up I have this jacked, just so I can sort of comfortably get underneath the car. I know it's a little difficult to see, but all right, so let's get to work. This pinion is supposed to be pretty difficult to get out of the rear, and it has to be torqued to a specific range as well. So somebody told me that you have to punch the beginning part of when you take that pinion nut off, and then count the threads as you go back, and then once you go to tighten it back up again, you just count the number of threads in and then torque it to the punch marks, and I'll show you that when we get to it. But this is the seal that we're replacing, and I'm sure that the one in there is pretty chewed up after 50 odd years of sitting. So here's the one I'm using. I bought this at Napa, so 15750. CR seal. All right, let's get to work. Okay, underneath the car. I guess you figured that out. Okay, the first thing I have to do is drop the drive shaft out of here. So there's 1, 2, and then on the other side of this, on the other side of that yoke, is 2 more bolts. So we'll take that out and push the drive shaft up a little bit, and just let that hang down. So that's what I'm going to do now. Okay, it's a 7/16 inch bolt here to take off the drive shaft U-joint strap bolts. Now, these were pretty easy to get out, weren't locked up at all. I would think with the amount of oil that had been soaking on them from this rear end, probably kept them well lubricated. Okay, to bring the bolts around so I get to the other side, I had to jack the car up a little bit so that one of the wheels was off these blocks that I had. Put the car in neutral and just spun the drive shaft. So now the other 2 bolts are more easily accessible. So let me take. So I hope you're enjoying the videos. Have I mentioned if you could please subscribe? We got a lot more interesting stuff than this coming up. More performance, Slant Six performance type of stuff. So I hope that you'll consider subscribing. I have a goal that I'd like to get to 500 subscribers. I'm close to 250 right now, but if you could just do me a favor and hit the subscribe button, I'd really appreciate it. Okay, these 2 bolts coming off. Let's see if we can slide this prop shaft, drive shaft up enough so I can release it. Yeah, it's probably a little stuck. May need a little. Maybe a little shove or two. All right, let me get something a little more robust, like a hammer. And a pry bar. Last time I remember doing this, I don't think it was that difficult. All right. Yeah, we'll be back. I'll let you know how I make out. Okay, I did release the dry shaft. It's off of this. Now this spline or whatever this is called. Basically, what I had to do is just kind of jimmy it up with this pry bar, and it basically just slides into the front of the transmission. I'm not going to remove the dry shaft because I believe there's a seal up there as well, and I don't want to disturb that anymore and have transmission fluid leaking all over the place. So I have it on the prop shaft propped up on this block here. What we're going to try to achieve here is to loosen this nut. Let's see if I can get a better light on there. Alright, so there it is. I'm going to loosen that nut. So what I have to do is make a mark on the bolt, or the nut I should say, and somewhere around there so that I can sort of count the threads, and when I go to put this on, that it's sort of back in its relative position. Like I said, I think this has to be torqued to like 150 pounds, and I think my torque wrench goes up that high, but you know, as a safety measure, I'm just going to mark it off. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to make some punch marks, and then we're going to attempt to try to take this bolt off, and that's going to be a lot of fun. I can just tell you. All right. Okay. All right, so this is a 1 1/8 inch socket that I'm using, which is lucky because that's the biggest one that I had. So as you can probably tell, it's locked up on here pretty well. Ooh, the whole car just moved there. I'm a little. Let me just make sure everything here is secure before I kill myself. I'll be right back. Alright, so the car is moving, but I'm trying to figure out where it's moving. Alright, it's trying to roll backwards because let me see if I can put a chock underneath the wheel here, prevent it from rolling backwards. So as I thought, this is going to be difficult. So I did wind up chocking the front wheel so it shouldn't roll back further. Looks like and I released some pressure on this jack to put some more weight on the wheels. So I'm going to try to use this dead blow hammer. A lot easier if I had a lift. Let's see what we got here. I do not think it is moving. Let's try the breaker bar. Yeah, I thought this was going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to wind up breaking this ratchet, I can tell. But let's see if all that weightlifting is paid off. Just can't get good leverage on it. Alright. Let's see what we can do here. I knew this was going to be a pain in the ass. Let me see if I can do it from outside the car. Whew. It will not budge. Let me see if I can find a bigger breaker bar. Well, when in doubt, use your feet. Alright, that mofo is not budging, which I was kind of afraid about. So let me come up with some other ideas. Anybody have any ideas to make this easier other than saying air hammer or air drill? Air tools? Be back. Sorry. Whoa, this is a pain in the butt. I'm gonna try to use some leg power again. Man. So this is why I was nervous about this job. That mofo don't want to come off. Hey, let me think about this. What can we do? What can we do? How about some WD-40? Oh yeah, that'll work. Alright, let's see what my little brain can think of. Bird cloud. Whoa. Alright, so that nut is really busting my nuts. So guess where I'm at? Yeah, Harbor Freight. Gotta get something to get that nut off, even though I don't want to spend any more money. Alright, I bit the bullet. I bought this corded Bauer impact wrench at like $89. Set of extensions and a set of SAE sockets. So let's see if we can get this stupid nut off. Oh boy, my wife is not going to be happy. Okay, wish me luck. Man, I don't know what the hell's got this thing on there. It will not budge. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Well, friends, I think this is a give up video, and I really feel bad for you all that watch this. Hopefully you got some comedic value out of it and my struggles, if you will. But anyway, I could not get it to break loose that nut, even with this Bauer 1,050 foot-pound impact driver. Just would not budge. Lost some video. I was trying to go forward, backwards, hoping if I went forward a little bit it might break the whatever connection is hold that nut up. ran the thing full reverse for, I don't know, about 30 seconds, starting to get a little afraid that I was going to bust the socket, send particles, flying all over the place. And I didn't want to have a dangerous situation. So it looks like I can't get that seal in. I wound up buttoning everything back up, put the drive shaft back on, rode the car around for about a half hour, and it's all fine, but I was really hoping to get that seal replaced. Anyway, a failure. I hope you learned something from this. I hope you got a little chuckles. It is a right-hand thread. It's not a left-hand thread, so I wasn't doing anything stupid like that, trying to, go the wrong direction with the nut. Well, again, I want to apologize about how that video turned out. Pinion nut just would not crack. I think that I will probably have somebody do that. I've been reading online that people heat them up and then they use 3/4 inch air impact drivers, like truck equipment, to get that nut off. Something that I am not set up to do. But anyway, just want to give you a quick teaser for what's coming up soon. Here's the Super 6 2-barrel manifold, 2-barrel carburetor, throttle cable, and the transmission kickdown cable. So that's kind of the stuff that we'll be working on in a future video. So again, apologies. Stick with me. We'll get this thing on there and start having some fun with that Slant Six. See you next time, guys and gals.